Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're going to look at creating an action, a very simple set of recorded keystrokes that's going to allow us to create long shadows on text or objects at any time. I'm going to start with an object, so I've got this sort of flower shape here. Let's just have a look at the layers palette. I'm just pressing the F7 function key to say that we have a shape here on a separate layer. That's really important. You don't want it to be joined into the background layer. It needs to be on a separate layer. Now this is a shape layer, but I'm going to rasterize it, so I'm just going to right click and choose rasterize layer. We're just creating the drop shadow action at this point, so it doesn't matter too much about what this thing even looks like. So I'm going to start by making a duplicate of it. And I'm going to turn off the original because that's just going to sit there for now, and this one's going to become our long shadow, but right now it's pink. I'd like it to be a black color, so I've black selected here as my foreground color. Because I'm working in filled pixels here, or just pixels, I can just click on this shape. So I've got now my shape selected and it's black. I've also got this tool selected here, the move tool. That's pretty important too. So now we're going to record our actions, and for this you want the actions panel. You can choose window and then actions, or just open the actions panel as I'm doing here. And I'm going to add a new action, so I'm going to click here on the plus symbol, and this is going to be long shadow. And because I'm going to use around about 150 moves for this, it's going to be about 150 pixels of long shadow. I'm going to type 150 because you may want to make smaller or larger ones so that you would have a number of actions, for example. So I'm just going to click that and click record. Now on this layer, the first thing I want to do is to rename it. So I'm going to right click it and I'm going to choose rename layer, and I'm going to call it long shadow and press enter. Now giving it a name like this is going to make things easier later on. The next thing I'm going to do with this layer still selected is go to edit and then free transform, and up here on the panel at the very top I'm going to type -45 degrees in the angle here and click the check mark. The next thing I'm going to do is make 150 copies of this shape. It's very easy to do. You're going to hold down the Alt key. You're just going to press the down arrow 150 times. You're going to ignore everything that's happening on the screen. Now if you don't do it exactly 150 times, that's just fine. So that took me probably 20 seconds or something to do. But you can see here now that I have long shadow copy 150 at the top here. I'm going to leave it selected as it is. I'm just going to drag this little slider down all the way to the last of these long shadows, the one that's called long shadow. I'm going to hold the shift key before I click on it. What that does is it selects every single one of those 150 copies. And again, if you make 110 or 130, it doesn't matter. It's just going to select them all. Then we're going to right click this selection and we're going to choose here merge layers. And that's going to take all of these copies and just put them all together on a single layer. Now because we rotated this thing, I rotated mine -45 degrees. To finish off, I need to put it back +45 degrees. So let's go to edit and then free transform. And then up here, let's just type in 45 degrees, which is the opposite to what we did in the first place. Click the check mark, and that is the end of our action. So what I need to do here is to just go down here and click on the box here, which says stop playing recording action. Okay, so there is my action. It's really long. So what I'm going to do is just close it up here. So this is it, long shadow 150. Let's just go and delete what we just made, and let's go and test it. So here is my original 6-petal flower. Drag it onto the plus sign. I'm going to make the top one invisible, and I'm going to fill this one with black. So that was my starting point. Just here was what I started with before I made the long shadow. So with this layer selected, let's just go to our long shadow action here and click the play button. And you can see it's running just instantaneously. It's really quick. So to see how this is going to look, let's go and turn our flower back on. Everything is not aligned very neatly. So all we have to do is move our flower into position, and there we have our flower with its long shadow. And as I said, if you want to make ones with shorter long shadows, that's just fine too. So let's just turn these off and let's go and see how it's going to work with text. So I'm going to the type tool. I'm going to choose a nice thick font to use. Let's try Anton Regular. I'm going to need 2 copies of this, so I can leave one black for now because I am ultimately going to need a black one. Well, 300 was a bit of an overestimation as to how big it needed to be. So let's just go here. So there's my black version. Let's just drag a duplicate out. This is going to be the long shadow one, so let's have a look at this top one, and with the type tool selected, let's just change the color of this to a turquoise, and we're going to hide that. So what we want to do is to focus on this black version of our type. We need it selected. Going back to our long shadow action here, we're just going to play it. It's done, it's finished right now. Let's turn our type back on and let's just align our text, and there we have our long shadow. As I said, you don't have to make it black. Whatever color that shape was is going to be the color of your long shadow. It's going to run at this -45-degree direction. If you want one that's going the other way, then just start out with a rotation of 45 degrees, and when you straighten it back up later on, use -45 degrees. You can have as many of these actions as you like. Instantaneous drop shadows on shapes, text, filled pixels, doesn't matter what you have there. It's as easy as that to make. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results, then you'll love my Skillshare content. I'm a Skillshare top teacher. I have hundreds of short courses on Skillshare that you can access, along with thousands of other great courses, all for the price of a single subscription. If you're interested, there's a Skillshare coupon for you in the description below to use to sign up. Using this coupon benefits me as a creator, and it helps me continue to make free content available here for you also on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for this video tutorial. On the screen now, you'll see a video that I've hand-picked for you. If you enjoyed the video you've just watched, I know that you're going to really enjoy the one I've picked for you to watch next.